This is a short video on how to dismantle and presumably re-erect an Eden 8x6 foot greenhouse. Right, so we start with the silly little clips that hold the glass. Okay, right, a couple of points. Probably a good idea to wear safety goggles and gloves when you're handling the glass, because obviously it's pretty sharp, and if you break it you could injure yourself. All I'm going to use is a small pair of these snipe nose pliers to do it. Okay, there's two sorts of clips. There's these wire type clips, and these basically, if you push down on the tabs, they'll basically come free. They're very simple to get out. So that's the first type. Together again, you need to basically fit this in that way round so that these two pieces press on the glass. Then you push the top tab in and the bottom tab. It's much easier when you're not trying to film it, but you bend down and pop under the frame, and that then holds the glass in nice and rigidly. Okay, the second type of clip are these wire ones. These are a bit more tricky to get out. Basically, you have to get the piece at the back to go inwards like that. Again, putting them back in again, you basically need to push on the clip and then they'll clip back in. So basically, using that technique, we remove all of these clips, and as I say, I'm putting them away in a bag so I don't lose them, because it's very, very easy to lose them. Making a few spiders homeless here. Right, having removed all the clips, I'm then going to use my gloves, because this is glass and it could cut you. So what we do then is we lift this pane up, put it free of the two little clips there. I don't know if you'd like to come, you can see these little clips. They're like a little S-shaped clip, and basically we don't want to lose those either. But we pull the glass up, and whilst holding it at the bottom, we then let it drop down and it will be held, and then we push it to one side and just lift it free, and that's how you get the glass. Okay, right, when you come to reassemble, if we zoom right in here, you will see the rubber strip has little grooves on it, and the frame, to get right in close, the frame also has the same little grooves on it, and the rubber strip will push into that groove. And basically what you want to do is to make sure it's at the top. You can use a little bit of Vaseline just to hold it there while you offer the glass up, or maybe a bit of silicone sealant, I don't know, that might work as well. Okay, for the glass on the roof, you need some steps, and really ideally you want to make sure that they're pretty stable, because you don't want to be falling on the glass roof and cutting yourself badly like that. So basically it's exactly the same thing. You basically get up, pop the clips out just like we did before, so that's the clips all out. No. And getting the glass out, exactly the same idea. You push this up, make sure you don't lose the two little clips. Once the clips are over, you can drop the glass down, push it to one side and lift it up, and don't lose the two little clips. And that's basically the first piece of glass out. Okay, and be very, very careful when you're carrying this glass down the steps, because you don't want to fall on it or anything. Second piece of glass, exactly the same procedure. Basically free it off, push it to one side and then lift it away. And again, be very, very careful when you're lifting this glass up and down. Exactly the same thing here. You see there's a fair bit of moss in here. The same rubber strip idea in these, exactly the same idea. Again, when you come to reassemble it, make sure you get the rubber strip in the first groove. The second one is there so that the water can run down, and it's a good idea to clean all this out with a stiff brush before you reassemble. Okay, when you come to remove these ones, you've got to be pretty careful, because we found that it's all clipped together. There's two sets of clips on these end ones, and we had to be very careful. In fact, it took two of us, one to hold these panes in while the other one removed the top one. Otherwise the whole thing's going to fall on you. The other thing is there's two longer rubber strips down here. There's this shorter one that goes up the edge of the door, and then there's a long one that goes right the way around and turns the corner there. So that's the long ones. Obviously you need to remember that when you come to put it all back together again. Right, this one is different than all the other glass panes, apart from the fact that it's really hard to get it out from behind the fence. But this one is, you can see, a smaller pane, and that one fits at the top. It's really difficult to get that out because the clips here, there's very little clearance on the clips, but so you really have to jiggle that up. We moved the little clips to one end, and then I jiggled the panel so we could get it clear. But that's how we got this pane out. Okay, now we notice the rubber strip at this end actually goes right the way round. I don't know if you can see this, but goes right the way around the top. So it's the longest rubber strip in the entire greenhouse at the moment. So there's miles of it, but it's exactly the same thing. It fits in the inner groove, and it's still got the same ribbing that all the others have got. Okay, I'm going to attempt to show you how to get these out. They're not easy. Certainly not easy on your own. What I did was to push both of these clips up together, so I only had one place to miss, and then jiggle it out like that. But be very, very careful. And that's how we did that. Okay, the top piece of glass here is 28 high, because of course there's these louvers in the way. But the rubber strip actually carries on right at the top of this, so it's not actually a shorter rubber strip where the louver is. It simply just pushes in the slot like the others do. Okay, the frame was fixed to the brick base by screws that were put in here. I found the quickest way to get them out, there was no way they were going to come undone, was just to get a chisel and smash up the brick that was holding it, and that came out a treat. But there's one more that is just under the door frame here, and in fact there's a fixing screw just here, and there's actually 3 fixing screws along this strip, another one there, and a third one just there. So you need to remove these three screws to take this door step off to get to the screw underneath. Okay, we're going to take the stop off at the end of the door, so we can hopefully slide the sliding door straight off its. Right, when you come to undo these nuts, basically they usually just shear straight off like that, and you get left with the nut in the end of the thing, but because they're quite cheap, so you just replace them.